Coach Tim here. Hey, I'm wanting to report to you a really cool story. And I was asked yesterday to have a conversation with a pal. And we talked football, and we talked about trust. And what we talked about was where physicality meets up with intangibles. And intangibles are effort, heart, character, those words that coaches use. And really, this is a story that's ubiquitous. It's something that should be taught in football and should be ubiquitous for the long term. And I'm going to use my own example in this of heartache, so to speak, because I don't want to mistakenly get construed on any particular kid. So I'd rather use my own example, and that is, I was a pretty good football player. Got all the awards and all that stuff out of high school, but nobody wanted me. Wow. I did everything I was told to do. I did everything. People, surprisingly, to this day, I get people going, "Oh, I remember watching you as a kid, 35 years ago. I remember watching you on the field. You were an animal." I'm like, really? I can't remember yesterday. I appreciate that. Okay, so again, not about me, but I got all the awards that were feedback to my superior effort. And because I would beat guys my height and way higher, way taller, way bigger, way more quote-unquote gifted. And then I got to where I started getting recruited, and I didn't get anybody. In fact, a guy from SC told me, he basically said I sucked. which was a bummer, as you can imagine. And so I had a little chip on my shoulder. And so what was funny was the film that he watched of that he said that I essentially sucked was I whooped a guy's butt that he had just given a scholarship to. So that was kind of interesting. The reality of it is now, as adult Tim, Coach Tim, is that I know that there is a physical checklist that coaches go look at, and that checklist oftentimes is undefined because it's difficult to define the checklist. So I'll go back and I'll use an example of yesterday, and as I'm explaining this, in walk two kids that play for my team. One guy's 6'5", a good first start. He's probably about 300 pounds. A good first start when you're trying to put together a physicality list for an offensive lineman. The other kid is 5'10", maybe, bulky, has a heart of a lion. And you know what? If I had to choose, I would start him. And you know why? Because he has a heart of a lion. His effort is superior. He's off the ball low. Difficult to take on as a D lineman or a linebacker. And so if his effort teeters off, a coach is going to, by default, go to his default stereotype offensive lineman, the 6'5", 300-pound guy. I might as well take up a lot of space than not have a guy give an unbelievable superior effort. So the sad fact of it is the guy with the superior physicality can get away with lesser effort, and that sucks, right? But it's reality. It's kind of a lesson that we should learn for life. And sadly, a lot of ball players that I know from over the years, in discussions, I don't think they've learned that. A lot of them have. That, it just isn't fair. And so at the end of the day, it's about trust. A coach is looking for trust, just like a player's looking to trust the coach. These kids, they're hip these days. You can't just have blind obedience from kids. There's got to be a relationship. Coach Gifford at El Camino told me that in the podcast I did. But this is from Lou Holtz. He said, teamwork is the foundation of success. The three universal questions that an individual asks of his coach, player, employer, employee are, can I trust you? Are you committed to excellence? And do you care about me? Pretty simple. Do you care about me? One of the things that I do is I go out and I talk to every single player in pregame or pre-practice as much as I can, and I try to pump up and do hypnotic anchoring and various tactics to get them ready for practice, to give superior effort at practice. So they know I care about them, right? They know that when I ask them to do something, I'm invested, and they're more likely to do what they need to do. One of my big kids, I tell him, not even with weights, but just squat. He's big, he's huge. He's like another 6'5" kid. Squat every night, and you'll get control of that core, even if it's just squatting on air. And I check with him. Are you squatting? This other kid during the summer was staying up till like 3 in the morning, and his mom had told the head coach, I had overheard it, that he's just not taking care of himself. Can you talk to him? So every day almost, I joke with him, and I go, hey, did you get a good night's sleep? What time did you go to bed? And I josh with him, but he knows that I care. I'm invested. And so the trust factor skyrockets when you deal with the kids individually. On the other side, as a coach, I have to trust the kid. So the harsh reality of it is on Friday night or game day, you as a coach are making that harsh decision. Who can I trust to play? And it's that easy. It's not easy, at least for me, because some kids are giving superior effort, but they're tapped out. They're just physically, they're tapped out. They're not going to be able to out effort the guy that's 6'5". It just isn't going to outdo it. But that's still rare. Where I coach in the South Bay, that's rare. Now you can go to some of these elite schools, and you're going to find a kid that runs 4.3, bench presses 500, squats 900, and gives great effort and has an unbelievable attitude and character. Wow, heart, right? Those words. Oh my God. How do you play against that? And but if you have the discipline and the heart and the character and the effort, you can take on a team that has better physicality. You better play with discipline, though. And so anyway, I wanted to leave you with that. The issue again was about trust, and can I trust you? And as Lou Holtz said, this is ubiquitous. It has to do with your career. It has to do with your relationships, just like anything else that I talk about on these. It's about trust. Tim O'Keefe, Coach Tim, have a great day.